let's take it back to late April. I can't get over this. Kyle Shanahan's demeanor at this press conference, 3 days before they drafted Trey Lance, he seemed mad. There was something off with him, and it was hard. No one will ever know why he was acting that way. It doesn't even seem like he was really supposed to be there. It was supposed to be John Lynch's day. Kyle Shanahan comes in. Lynch is in a great mood. Shanahan's frustrated about something. And my theory was always that they had the meeting that morning to decide who they were going to take. And he got overruled. He wanted Mac Jones, Jed York, John Lynch. Everyone said, you're taking Trey Lance. But it's possible that something else happened, Rob. Because I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe Kyle had, from all reports, he really liked Trey Lance. Why would he be mad that he had to take Trey Lance, right? I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, right? It's possible. He said at that press conference the word starting quarterback like 10 times. Remember that? I need a starting quarterback. He kept making a point of it. Not just a quarterback. I need a starting quarterback.
Quarterback.
I need a starting quarterback. And John Lynch, what was he kept saying about? Well, the best thing about this, he's been saying it, him and Jed York really, is that we can take our time. We can take our time with Trey. We can take 2 years. We got Jimmy. The best thing about this is we got Jimmy, and Trey can learn for as long as he needs. And you got Kyle saying, I need a starting quarterback. So this is through Stephen Jennings, gave me the idea. Seems to check out to me. What if what happened that day was Jed York told Kyle, we have to keep Jimmy Garoppolo. We're not going to get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo. You want Trey Lance? That's fine. We'll get Trey Lance. We're keeping Jimmy Garoppolo for a lot of reasons. This kid might not be ready. He sells tickets. He's marketable. I like him. We traded for him. I've paid him $90 million, and I'm not just going to cut him and let him go. If you're going to get rid of Jimmy, you need to trade him, and you need to trade him for at least a second. What if that happened? If that's why Jimmy Garoppolo is still on the team.
Whew.
It would explain the whole starting quarterback mantra thing that he kept repeating.
It certainly would, and it would explain the seething anger that seemed to come through in his replies.
Yes.
Because my theory was always, I'll go through and give you what my theory was, and then kind of answer what I think on this one. So my theory was always that he was just so irritated that anyone could question that, even if he wasn't going to take Mac Jones, that anyone would question who he wanted. That if he wanted Mac Jones, if he wanted Ziggy Marley, that we should all be okay with whoever he took, because he's Kyle Shanahan, he's a genius, and he's going to make whoever this is work.
Of course.
So that to me fit with the narrative. This would also explain why he would be so upset, right? Kyle strikes me as the kind of guy who is used to getting his own way, if only from the idea of being the smartest guy in the room. Oftentimes when you're the smartest guy in the room, people turn to you for answers. I know this because I've turned to the smartest guy in the room for answers many times. And so if someone comes to him and says, this is what's going to happen, we all know his feelings about Jimmy. His feelings are plain as day, right? It comes through on the sideline, the body language. He gets super frustrated with Jimmy. I mean, this feels like it could be an explanation for that.
I get the feeling that Kyle Shanahan would like Jimmy Garoppolo gone. It's like he's had enough of the Jimmy Garoppolo experience. There's got to be a reason that they were flirting with Andy Dalton, Sam Darnold, all these guys. It seemed like Kyle was working on a replacement for Jimmy, and at the last minute got overruled by a lot of people in the organization. Said, you know what, we're not just going to dump Jimmy. As much as you don't like him, this is a theory, but it seems to make sense. It just seems like Kyle has had enough, and he blames Jimmy for a lot of his problems. And when he kept saying, I need a starting quarterback, well, it means he doesn't have one. That he's afraid if he has Jimmy still, he gets hurt. It's the same thing. So I think if he had it his way, I think Jimmy be gone by now. And I think why you're starting to hear this enthusiasm about Trey Lance, that's why it's like, I was thinking that Kyle would be skeptical of Trey Lance the whole time. I don't hear that anymore. I hear a lot of enthusiasm. So I'm wondering if really he's going to make Trey Lance the starter and just to put it back on Jed York and be like, well, what do you say now?
Yeah. So
What do you say
basically,
now?
he's like, yeah, okay, great, we'll keep Jimmy, and then start pushing the Trey hype, pushing
Yes.
the Trey hype, pushing the,
Yes.
and then all of a sudden, well, Trey's starting. So do you really want to, Mr. York? Do you really want to pay $25 million just to keep him on the bench, or should we maybe work out a trade at this point?
I mean, maybe Kyle Shanahan's watching these videos where I'm saying the Niners need to get rid of Jimmy and use that cap space. He's like, yeah, tell him, Grant, tell him, Grant. And he's like forwarding it to Jed York. So I'm saying the fans know the jig is, because you could look at it from Jed's perspective. The really diehard fans know about the cap and how you can't really win with a guy making 13%. And most fans don't know that. Most fans don't know that. Most fans know Jimmy Garoppolo mostly wins. I like Jimmy. Jimmy's a handsome, nice guy. Why are we getting rid of Jimmy for some kid? We don't even know. I mean, I feel like a big section of the fans feel that way, and Jed might be sensitive to that. Like, look, I know, Kyle, that your expert opinion says you hate Jimmy, but I like him.
Yeah.
And so do a lot of fans.
I mean, Kyle claims to not be on social media, but I'm sure he has like 12 burners just like KD. And I'm guessing that that's exactly what he's doing. He's keyed into this show. He's forwarding it along to Jed York. And now we see the result, right? The fans want what the fans want. Give us Trey.
Yeah. So this is my shift. I went from thinking that Kyle was going to be as cynical and skeptical of Trey as he was with Jimmy, because he's always been that way with Jimmy.
Right.
Almost too much. And I felt like, okay, well, now it's Trey's turn because he didn't really want Trey. What if he's cool with Trey? He likes Trey. And the issue that's been bugging him is that they can't move on. They're still got Jimmy Garoppolo here. Because think about it. I mean, we're going to talk about this later in more depth. Yeah. But if Jimmy Garoppolo starts this year because Trey Lance isn't ready and goes on a run, once again, it's out of his hands, right? Once again, it's larger than life. It's taken on a life of its own, and Kyle can't do what he wants. Kyle wants to do what he wants to do, and at no point has Jimmy Garoppolo been in that equation. He feels like he's this close to moving on, but maybe he's going to be stuck with him for, it's like, yeah, you almost have the divorce, and like the papers are almost written, but not quite. Someone's saying, why don't you just live together for 2 more months just to see what happens? No. So I don't know. That's my theory.
Divorces get ugly. Well, I don't think you've sold me on that theory, okay, but the one thing that's very intriguing to me that you bring up that still has me wondering is that idea of why isn't Kyle as skeptical when talking about Trey? Because I expected that as well. I expected the same measured Kyle of old school football coach. He's not ready. He's a rookie. He's learning the playbook. There's no chance it's a competition. Jimmy's our guy. But that language has softened. And that language is trending toward this is a competition. It could be Trey's job.
Yes. And that seems like that's the narrative coming from the coaching staff and the players.
Right.
The narrative coming from the front office and ownership is, we like Jimmy. Let's pump the brakes. There's no rush. Well, you hear the coaching staff being like, hey, man, he learned the offense. I mean, we're going to have, we'll have a competition. We'll see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, it seems like there's two slightly different tones, narratives coming from the team. And I always find that interesting because these teams are supposed to be united fronts. They're supposed to have one message. And the Niners have a little bit of a harmony going on here, a little bit of I don't know what you want to call it. Like two different things.
It's almost a mashup because it's two different songs coming together it's not really at the same point, right? Yeah. No, you're right. John Lynch is effusively praising Jimmy and talking about how he's the starter. Now, he hasn't been live for a little while, so it'd be interesting to know if his vision has changed as well now that he's seeing Trey out there. But certainly Shanahan's tune has changed.
Just think about it, though. The Jimmy Garoppolo trade goes on John Lynch's resume. He traded a 2 for him and extended him. Cutting him would be a big fat L on the resume. Loss. You lost. Also, from Jed York's perspective, paid him $87 million. $87 million. Yeah. To just cut him and not even get a draft pick in return, big fat L. Big fat L. Kyle's perspective, hey man, that's not my problem. That is not my problem. My problem is to put the best quarterback on the field and to get out of this purgatory where we're paying $27 million for a guy who plays 2 to 6 games a year. We got to move on. It's my win-loss record, not your win-loss record, John, not your win-loss record, Jed. I'm tired of this. So that's to me why you could have competing things going on here.
Yeah. To quote Kyle, he needs a starting quarterback.
He needs a starting quarterback. That's what he's saying. Very interesting stuff.